like to hear first? Good news, bad? Let me look at the link. Let's see. Bad news. Okay, Steven said bad. Anybody else? Any votes? Bad news, good news? Bad. Oh, everybody wants bad. 2 people want bad. 3 people want bad. All right. Here's the bad news. You got to do one more video demonstration of knowledge. That's the bad news. So you guys ready for the good news? The good news is today is our last instruction day. And I'm going to stop instruction because I want other people to catch up and they pass the class and nothing new, and you guys focus on any of your other classes you have to do. I think you guys have put in a lot of hard work, and I'm very proud of you, and especially everybody who's been showing up every day, or if you've been watching the lessons. Thank you for all that. I know this has been kind of a challenge, but we've done our best. I want other students who haven't. I've been getting a bunch of people like all of a sudden start doing all the work, but they're just doing the Khan Academy, and they're not even doing the notes, or they're not doing the Desmos. So I need to teach everybody, like, you have to listen to the lesson in order to do the Desmos. So the Desmos, there's no really instructions on there. So here is what your final project is going to be. It's very similar to the one you made yesterday. And I'll do a demo first. What was I going to do? I was going to project my screen. Hang on one second. Anyway, so thanks everybody. I've been watching, been looking at your guys's assignments. I'll spend all the time it takes to get your scores updated. And Sophia, can I show one of your notes from yesterday? Is that okay with you? If you're here. All right. Okay, let me see.
She said yes.
Okay, thanks. It'd be cool if you had audio. Anyway, so here is notes from yesterday. And I know my notes get a little sloppy. I know that that's my weakness. But I'm really impressed that you guys can turn my sloppy Joe into really good. So here is some really good notes example, right? Now I try to do the color, but then I forget, and then but this is the idea right here. So here's yesterday's notes. Do you think that that this is really helpful in terms of, like, this is, there's a lot of work. If this was all in one color, I think it would just look like a big pile of chicken scratch, right? Anyway, so I wanted to just demonstrate this, especially to other people who are doing notes, and they're just want to see something. So this is really good. Like, look, no C value, no need for quadratic formula. No B value, don't need quadratic formula, okay? I see people using the quadratic formula, which is fine, I guess, but you don't need to use it all the time. Okay. All right, so here is your guys's final video, okay? And let me make a little screen here. And basically, doing this video demonstration will put you in the A and B category of grade. If you don't do the video demonstration, then you cannot get a B or an A in the class. It's just not possible, okay? Of course, I'll do a demo, and then also I'll even put up some good examples just to help everybody out. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. All right. Your final will be to make up a quadratic. Make up a standard form. So you're going to make it up because I want to see a lot of different ones, right? Standard form quadratic, right? Quadratic function. You're going to turn it into I guess there's probably a better word. Turn it into vertex form. And the quadratic form has to have an A, it has to have a B and a C, and the A has to be greater than 1, okay? And B has to be greater than, or it could be less than 1. Well, let me rephrase that. A cannot be 1. Cannot be 1. So it could be a decimal, it could be negative, but it just can't be 1 or -1. It's got to have a different step. B and C cannot be 0, cannot be 0, cannot be 0. Okay. I guess A couldn't be 0 either. Right? You turn into vertex form by making the twins. And that's called, what's that called? It's called completing the square. And you guys did that in the video, by the way. Really good job. So you know how to do it. Then you're going to solve it to get the x-intercepts. And lastly, this is it. Lastly, you're going to solve it by quadratic formula. You're going to solve the original. Solve original one. Okay. All right. Make sure that when you make one up that you check with Desmos to see that it does have x-intercepts. Make sense? Okay. So let me give you an example. Okay. So if I go to Desmos, Desmos. So here's 2x squared minus 5x plus 8. See this one, if I make this up right here, I won't be able, I'll turn this into vertex form. I can totally do that. I mean, I can even, cheat a little. I'm just going to turn that into vertex form. I'm going to put 2 times x minus, what is that vertex? 125. And then squared, twins. And then plus, what is that? $5.87.5. $5.87.5. See, there you go. See, I turned it into vertex form. But you won't be able to solve this because there is no x-intercepts. It makes sense? So don't pick a graph that doesn't have x-intercepts. So instead of +9, maybe put -9 or put a negative in front, and I bet you it'll have x-intercepts now. See that? See? So you could do that or that right there. So now you have x-intercepts. Now it's going to be a different vertex. Okay. All right. And that's it, guys. So shall we make one up? And this time I do want you guys to help me make it up and give me some numbers. We're going to start with quadratic form. All right. So what would you like my A value to be? Can you guys help me out here? Just, because you're going to make one up, and then, of course, you can't use the one we're going to use here, right? But, all right, what would you want the A value to be? Which are your steps? What do you want the steps to be? double, triple, half, quadruple, negative, quarter. What do you want inside the A value? You can just type it in the chat. I've got the chat open now, finally. What do you want? 2. Okay, so I'm going to put 2. All right, what do you want B to be? Give me a double. Good job. Double. What do you want inside to be? Now you want the B value. Do you want? I'm sorry.
Writing this on a piece of paper.
I would. Yeah, because we're gonna do like a notes here. 5. Okay. Devin says a 5. And what do you want the C value to be? Remember, the C is going to drop it down, so you probably have to drop it a little bit, right? Yeah, Amar, so write it down. And what do you guys want the C value to be? So right now, the parabola is right there. We need to either drop it or raise it. What do you want? Anybody? All right, -8. Thank you. Cool. All right, 2, 5, -8. Okay, so let's do it. So we're going to start with standard form. So I'm going to pretend I am a student. I am now 16 years old. And here's my video. All right, everybody, we're going to start with a quadratic. That's a function that's in standard form. I believe it was 2x squared plus 5x minus 8. And it's a function. It's got a name. So in order to turn this into vertex form, I'm going to divide everything by 2 because I want to make twins. My goal is to have this. And this has to be 1x here. So in order to do that, I need to divide everything by 2. And that is perfectly legal because we're going to multiply by 2 right after that. So nothing will change. If you divide by 2, then multiply by 2, well, you're going to get the same thing. So I would like you to say that in your video, that you're dividing and then multiplying, so then nothing really changes, right? If your mom gave you double the money and then divided it by 2, well, you're back to what you started with, okay? All right, I got my twins now. I run out of space here, so I'm just going to go over here. I got my identical twins are going to show up here. These two twins have to add up to $2.50 because I want twins. So therefore, there's going to be $1.25 each. Okay, so this is going to be $1.25. Now, $1.25 times $1.25 is, I have no idea. So let me use a calculator. $1.25 squared is $1.56 and a quarter. Okay, so it's $1.56 and a quarter. Okay. Unfortunately, this number has to equal -4. So we're going to have to subtract something from it to equal -4 because that's an invalid number. So we're going to have to subtract a lot. So I'm just going to go, what is $1? Let's see, how would I get that answer? $1.56 plus 4. So I have to subtract $5.56. I have to subtract this. That was kind of a weird way for me to do that, right? But I knew that I'd need to, if I start at $1 and I need to go to -$4, I need to subtract $5. So, and excuse me by saying dollars, but 5.5625, right? 5.5621. So that means I need to subtract. $5. 56 and a quarter. Now these two combined does actually equal -4. So I'm perfectly good. Now this piece right here, everything together does equal the blue part. I do have to double that $5 because it says here 2 times that. So that's 2 times that. So I'm just going to put that over here times 2. So that's 11.125. So actually, my twins will be minus 11.2. Man, my memory is really bad. 0.125. There we go. And don't forget to put the 2 back in here because that's part of the function. So this is my vertex form function, f of x equals. So there we go. I converted it from standard to vertex. Okay. Now I do verify that here by clicking on my graph, and lo and behold, boom, boom, right there. Okay. And you can actually verify that your work while you're doing it. Okay. All right. Next, we got our vertex. Vertex is a negative 1.25 comma negative 11 and 12 and a half cents. All right, next, we're going to solve this. We're going to get the x-intercepts, right? We're going to get the x-intercepts. What I want you to say in the video is that x-intercepts, I'm going to change that to a green. Whoa, hang on one second. All right. X-intercepts are I want you to say this. I want you to say the x-intercepts, the output, or the y, is 0. 0. So we can replace the output with 0. I want you to know why you're replacing that with 0, because if you're trying to find the x-intercepts, right, these all have y equals 0. All right, so now we're going to just solve this. We're going to get our vertex and solve it. All right, and the decimals don't scare me because I have Desmos, man. I have Desmos. That's what's going to tell me all this. So we're going to get rid of this, put it on the other side. So now we have a new equation, right? We got a new equation. 11.125 equals 2. Now we're going to divide this by 2. Now I'm going to cheat because remember we multiplied by 2 earlier up here? Well, if we divide it, we're back to where we started. $5, 5. I'll change color again. Anyway, I used to cheat. I wouldn't multiply by 2. I would just keep it original, but I didn't want you guys to see that yet. All right. And then you say, oh, something times itself is 5. And I want you to say that the square root, there's 2 answers here because we are saying something times itself equals 5. So that means they could both be positive or they could both be negative. That's why there's 2 answers for the same thing. All right, so the square root will get rid of this. We'll get rid of the square and the parentheses. Now, the square root of 5.56, like, I don't know if I told you earlier, it's right here. Wait, that's not it. Hold on, never mind. Let's use a calculator. The square root of this. So I'm just going to put SQRT here. SQRT. Darn it. 5.5625. Hang on, my bad. 5.5625. All right. The square root of 5.56 is $2.36. So this is $2.36 or negative $2.36. Remember, the square root of numbers is only positive, but in this case, there's two answers because the original question says what times what is positive. All right, last step. Now you're back into like 7th grade level. Subtract $1.25, subtract $1.25, subtract $1.25, and we're gonna get the x-intercepts are $2.36. So it's gonna be $1.11, or I'm gonna add these together. 11, 6, 461. So 461 or $1.11. Those are my x-intercepts. Let's verify that. Boom. Oh, $1.11. Okay, that's close. $1.11 and 360. I think I made a mistake right here somewhere. This one's good. Oops. There it is. 2 plus 1 doesn't equal 4. Oops. I totally did that on purpose to show you that I did not do that on purpose. Sorry. Yeah, I tripped on the most basic thing, 2 plus 1. Anyway, we're human, right? All right, so 361 and $1.11. That's really close to those, okay? So now that you have your x-intercepts, well, you could actually turn this into factored form without factoring it. X plus 3.61, x minus 1.11. Don't forget the original 2 you guys came up with. Bam, factored form. Now, it's in factored form, but we didn't really factor it. We just kind of cheated by getting the x-intercepts and then reversing the order. All right, guys, so that's going to be your video. And lastly, you're going to do the quadratic formula. How long is this video taking so far? This is like your final project. So this is like it. So you're going to have all week to do it. It might take a video. So now, lastly, use a quadratic formula. I'm going to pick up purple, my favorite color. Quadratic formula. All right. The original equation was 2x squared plus 5x minus 8. So here's how you're going to do it. A equals 2, B equals 5, C equals negative 8. So quadratic formula says the opposite of B divided by double of A plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C, all divided by double of A. Okay, we got here negative 5, 4. That's $1.25. Hey, look, that is the vertex, right? If you look at your notes. And then it's going to say plus minus. Okay, let's see. 25. These three numbers become positive, which is going to be plus 64 divided by 4. And then that turns into square root of 89 divided by 4. This turns into, let's put 89 SQRT 89 divided by 4. You can just do that in one shot. $2.36. Hey, that's what we had earlier. $2.36. And if you look at our when we solved it earlier, those are the same numbers, right? Right there. See? Okay. All right. And then lastly, you're going to just do the math. So I like to do them separately because so I just do negative $1.25 minus a 2.36, or so basically I'm just doing what I did earlier. Be careful not to add 2 plus 1 and save 4. My bad. Okay, so this is going to be negative 11, 6. Wait, how does this work? $1.25. Did I make a mistake here again? Oh, yeah, 3. There we go. And then this one is going to be, see, it's kind of, just use a calculator, right? 1, 1, 1. Positive. So these are the x-intercepts. 361 and 111. Right? Really close. I mean, if you round that up, the a will turn that 0 into 1. This a will turn that into 1. And that is your final project. And that is going to get you an A. A lot of you have A pluses, so good job. Or a B, okay? By the way, to pass a class, all you need is a C here. It's like a 50%, which is fine. But you don't want to take IM3 if you have a C, because that it's going to be really hard. You can still do it, but it's, you're setting yourself up. All right, that's it, guys. What are your questions? Did I explain everything good? I even made a mistake right here. I said 2 plus 1 is 4 instead of 3. I think I was carrying a 1 in my head somewhere. So this is our last day. So that was the good news. This is due the 20th, which is next week sometime.
Wait, this is our last math lesson?
This is our last math lesson. Yeah, I'm really proud of you guys. This is hard. This is like a lot of stuff here. This is like your culmination, right? Would you guys agree?
So what if you're like still confused?
You can ask me right now, and you can watch some of the videos that we've had in class. Yeah, you can ask right now. I mean, I don't have to log out, and my time is for you guys. Which part? Can I explain better?
Well, so I get so there's like different like parts.
Yeah,
Would it be okay if you can just like do like another one?
Sure. I will do another one, and if you're good, then I would like to hear your voice to say goodbye and thank you, everybody. I don't want to just see you guys log out. I just like want to hear your voice. And if you want to stay, I'm going to do another one. I'm going to try to make another one so it's not so complicated. This one got complicated because the decimals, but it doesn't matter, right? The calculator's going to help you out. Okay. Anybody have any other questions before I do another one? Like you're going to say, well, anything under my directions or how to do this or that? Anybody? Okay. So here's our another one, okay? But if you do leave, please just say goodbye. I know that we spent a lot of time together before the COVID and even during this time. I think I definitely thought about trying my best to express how a very complicated thing we wanted to piece it out. I even brought you guys cartoons to show you different methods, different like representations of the same thing. All right, Mark, here's the next one, okay? But don't leave without saying goodbye, please, okay? All right, here's another one, Martin. This one's going to be very similar. 2x squared. I'm going to put an even number here. I'm going to be sneaky by putting an even number. If I put an even number here, it's going to make my twins easier. Okay, Okay, so I'm going to verify that does graph on Desmos. Let me use my other computer. So hint, want to make it easier? Make B be even. uh, but when you make it even, make sure that when you divide it by 2, it stays even. It makes the twins easier to find, actually. All right, plus 8x and then minus 1. All right, this does have x-intercept. Perfect. All right, we're going to turn this into vertex form. We're going to divide everything by 2 because we want to get the a value to be gone. So now we have a new function that says 2 times x squared plus 4x minus my favorite wrapper, 50 cents. Now I can make my twins. And that's going to be x squared, x. These two have to add up to 4. That means they're going to be 2x and 2x. That's nice. And this is 4. But 4 is the wrong number. It's actually supposed to equal negative 50 cents. It's actually have to equal this right here. Therefore, we have to subtract 450. We gotta subtract 450. And we have to make it equal because we are saying that this blue area is equal to this. And now it is because we forced it. Don't forget we have to multiply by 2. So now my function will be 2 times the twins. 2 times the twins.
Wait,
And,
I have a question.
yeah, and then that'd be negative $9.
So the 4 has to equal negative 0.5.
Yeah, the 4 and something else that your job is to figure out. These two boxes right here have to equal the C value. Okay. So your job is to figure out what number you can take away from 4 to make it become negative 50 cents. Right?
Oh, okay. Here.
So if you're at 4, but you need to be here, you got to take 1, 2, 3, 4.5 steps to get where? To get to where you're supposed to be. Don't forget to multiply this negative 0.5 because there's 2 of these negative 0.5s. There's 2 of them. So that means there's negative 9, right? So now my vertex is easy. My vertex is what goes inside the x to make the 2 become 0. Because if this is 0, 0 times 2 is 0, and it's all gone except negative 9. Okay? If you put in a negative 2, then if you put a negative 2 here, then negative 2 plus 2 is 0, and then 0 squared is 0, and 0 times 2 is 0. See how everything just kind of blows up? So all that's left is negative 9 if you input a negative 2. And that's why it's the vertex, because it's the lowest is going to go. All right. So now that you know the vertex, now you can, well, we already have the vertex form, right? So you can put vertex form. The vertex form gives you the vertex. All right. Next, we're going to find the x-intercepts, and we're going to change the output to 0 because the y is 0 on the x-axis. So then we're going to solve this, kind of like we used to do in 7th grade. So to solve it, we're going to get x by itself. We're going to add 9, and then that's going to turn into 9 equals 2x plus 2 squared. We got to get rid of this 2 first before the square, because if you square root, then you're going to have the square root of 2. That's going to be a mess. So divide everything by 2 to get rid of this 2. And now you're going to get 4.5 x plus something, right, squared. I would like your video to say that the square root of 4.5 is positive, but since we are actually not really square rooting, we're really saying what times what is 4.5. You could say, well, use a calculator. Let's see. It's going to be like 2 point something, I think, right? 4.5. $2.12. You can say $2.12 times $2.12 equals 4.5, but also negative $2.12 times negative $2.12 equals 4.5. So I want you to understand this piece right here. That's why there's two answers to this. There is the negative $2.12 and the positive $2.12. Now, the square root, we'll get rid of the square because the square root of something squared is itself. And then lastly, you're going to say, I need to get rid of this 2. So I'm going to subtract 2 from everything. You see how this one was a little easier because the b value was even, just a hint, everybody. All right, so then you do some math here. You're going to say, $2 minus 2 is positive 12 cents or negative $4.12. So now that you have your x-intercepts, now you can make the function, right? That's factored. So you're doing like in reverse, right? All right, you're going to put x is x here, and this is going to turn into opposite, right? Because 412. Because this x actually would slide into the x, right? So you want to know the number that's opposite that would have canceled it. And this one also turns into opposite because the 12 cents would actually go into the x. And don't forget the steps are doubled, right? The original 2. And this is your factored form. All right. I know I kind of rushed this just to kind of get everything done. It is being recorded, so you can play it again. And lastly, on your video, which is your final video, I mean, it might actually take 2 or 3 little clips, which is good too if you do them separate. I need to see that you can use this formula because that is the you're going to be using that in the future with other classes, and I forgot what the numbers were. Oh, plus 8x minus 1. And quadratic formula, you only want to use it if you got A, B, and C. I mean, you could use it if you want, but it's overkill.
Wait, is that the equation we're using?
Yeah, we are using this equation. The opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by double of a divided by double of a. Okay, this is the equation using. Right now, you're going to make it up, right? You're going to make up these numbers. Okay. All right. So now I got my letters, right? ABC. Now I just plug them all in. So the opposite of 8 is negative 8 divided by double of a. Double of a is 4, right? Plus, minus. I really don't care about that plus, minus until the end, by the way. All right, b squared is 8 squared. I could have put 64, right? That is 4 times a times c. I put all these in parentheses so my negatives don't get all messed up. Divided by double of a, which is 4. This becomes negative 2. And that was part of the vertex, as you saw earlier. Plus, minus. All right, this is 64. And these 3 together become plus 8 divided by 4. Negative 2. And you could use a calculator here. I want to see this work. You could use a calculator the whole thing, but I need to see this piece right here at least. So the square root of 72 plus 4 divided by 4. Square root of 72. So it's going to be 212. So it's negative 2 plus 212 or negative 2 minus 212. And this equals um, 12 cents or negative $4.12. And these are your x-intercepts. So you could say 0.112 comma 0 and negative 0.112 comma 0. All right. So which one took less work? This red one or the one that we had to do the whole thing? We had to go from standard. We had to go from standard to vertex, and from vertex to um, to uh, to factored, right? Was that the right one? Yeah, there we go. So the point is, the quadratic formula is actually faster on complicated stuff, right? But it's longer on simple stuff. Make sense? So it's the quadratic formula is faster on hard things, kind of like a pile driver, a jackhammer is faster to break apart heavy duty concrete, but it's not efficient to put one nail on the wall, right? It's like too much. Okay. And this is it, everybody. Like I said, I'm very proud of you. I know this is challenging, but I think we did good. And then when you enter your next class, I think you'll be prepared and you'll do what you did here. You learn, you practice, you make mistakes, you learn from those.
So we have to do the long version, and then to prove it or like to show our work or whatever, we have to do the final one.
Yeah. So basically, you're going to make up a function, a quadratic function. A hint, I mean, just a tip is to make this number become even, right? And if you want to make it even easier, make it become even after you divide it by a. So for example, if you divided 10, which is even, by 2, you get 5, and you're like, oh, dang, that's odd, right? But what if you divided 12 by 2? You get what? 6. And that's a hint. That's a hint. So pick a number that when you divide, pick a b that when you divide by a, you get even.
You can just say pick a number divisible by 4.
Yeah, exactly. If your a is 2, right? Yeah, that's a good idea, right? So play with it. I think I'm making it more complicated than it is, right, Nathan? Okay. But if you pick an odd number, you're going to get funky vertex, right? For sure. Yeah, pick a number that's divisible by 4 and then have a 2. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I have a quick question. Yeah. So can we like do everything and then take the video explaining, or do we have to like do it as
yeah, you have to do it as your you should practice it first and then do it. Just have your paper that you did already on a side and just kind of be going through it. But I'm going to be grading your words. So some of you guys on the last video, you made some mistakes and you still got 100%. I still gave you 100% because I could tell from your words that you understood what was happening. Okay. So that's the idea. So I'm grading your thought process, right? I'm just like, and then you do this, and then you gotta say it, and then I do this, and because of that, and just talk it through, right? I won't really be looking at what you're writing. A lot of your videos, I can't even see what you're writing anyway. So, but I'm listening. Okay, I'm listening to what you're saying. And I'm going to be very generous with the grading. Does that make sense? So, which means I'm not going to be looking for little. Oh, I got you, right? I'm going to be just getting the general sense that you understand. Okay. But like I said, you could once I finish recording this, I'll put it on the pace, and you can kind of guide. Just make one up and just go step by step, pause the video, do each step as you go along. Okay. It's not a lot. It's a lot of little easy stuff, right? And honestly, I'm glad I made this mistake right here somewhere where I added wrong. Yeah, just to show you, like, yeah, it's okay, right? You guys believe me that I understand how to do this stuff, right? Even though I added 2 plus 1, I put 4. All right, yay! And use your Desmos to check your answers. And when you make up your function, use Desmos to see. It doesn't have to be decimals, right? It could be just make it come up with something easy, right? Like you just kind of mess with the numbers. Look at this one. It's still decimals. All right, let's see. Divisible by 4, right? Here we go. All right, but maybe this one has to go up. Hmm. Still kind of, I don't know. Just kind of mess around with it. See what you guys come up with. Maybe that's too big of a number. I don't want to be dividing 24. Maybe 12. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, let me see if I can see you guys. Okay, so we got, I don't know, there's only like 12 of you guys on right now. So good job. Like I said, this project is only for people that want to get A or B. You don't have to do it if you want to just get a C or a credit, right? That's why I was asking who was going to take IM3 and all that. But you want to do it, I mean, what else are you guys doing? You guys have jobs? Yeah.
Wait, so we don't have to do this?
But you won't get an A or B. You might just get a C minus, like a C. There's no. Okay. So if you don't care about getting an A or B and you're not going to take IM3, you don't have to if you don't want to. But I encourage you to do it. It's not. You have the ability to do it. You have the resources to do it. So if you check on your phone and see what you're spending your time on, you might actually find out that you have more time than you give yourself. So like I said, if you're IM3 bound and you would like an A or B, then you should definitely do this. If you don't do it, you might just get a C. Okay, it's definitely doable. Don't look at it in a negative way. It's very like I'm even giving you like a step-by-step examples, right? All right. Let's see.
So if you have like a B and then you don't do it,
then you'll get a C.
Your grade...
Yeah, it'll drop to a C.
Okay, so like, what if you have like a C, but you don't do it?
You'll probably just stay at a C.
Oh, okay.
I might just give you like credit or something, So basically, I'm not trying to punish people. I just want to prepare all of my students to be successful in their next coming up classes. And if you don't do it, nobody's going to fail, right? You're just not going to get an A or B, right? It's not a big deal. I mean, if it's not a big deal to you, right? You've done work. In order to get a C, you have to have 51% of the work. I'm like, well, that's pretty. A lot of the work is notes, and then some of it's Khan Academy and some of it's Desmos. So I try to balance it out so that it wasn't just notes, and it wasn't just Khan Academy, and it wasn't just Desmos. So I try to have a little bit of everything. So, all right. I would like to, again, thank everybody here. All right. And I will be posting this, of course. I'm very proud of you guys. Email me if you have any concerns, anything. My favorite hobby is to see my students' grades go up. Okay. With your work. So if you're missing anything, if you did something late, that's okay. Just let me know, and then I will, put it in your grade, and it's like I'm your coach. I'm cheering you on. I'm like, yeah, but you got to do the work, but I'm still like rooting for you. Okay. And we're going to stop this. And also because some students are catching up, and that's good. I'm there rooting for them, right? Even though they haven't been with us every day, I'm still at the end of the, the little marathon. Like, yeah, come on, right? You don't have to be first, second, last. It doesn't matter. Just get this job done. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm getting all teary eyed. Hayden left without saying bye. Dang it. Say bye at least.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, Mr. June.
Bye.
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 I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you. Nathan left. Nice. Everybody, thank you so much. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Colin.